of fish and a nice solid catch from this 39-hour. I want to tell you guys a little bit more about how you can win free fishing trips, talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on coming up, and also talk to you a little bit about the weather too. A solid catch here from the 39-hour trip. Looks like you guys crushed them, huh?
Yeah, we did really well. We had, as some of you guys know, incredible weather on the ride out. We had a 6+ foot swell out of the northwest, and we were pretty much forced to go south, but we made it out there, and by the time we got there, it was maybe 3 to 5 foot, and the fish were chewing. We caught like 6 or 7 muttons on the first spot.
Wow.
And I don't think any of them made it to the top of the pile, but we got
You got 12 muttons, I heard?
At least 12 muttons, and there's a couple of 10-pounders in there.
That's awesome.
But they're just buried under the fish. A great variety. Mangoes, muttons at night, some of these big flag yellowtails.
Yeah, there's a lot of big yellowtails in there. I see some really big scamp on top of the pile too.
Yeah, we hit some scamps in the daytime. We probably got upwards of 10 scamps like that.
Wow, that's amazing. So big muttons, big scamp, a solid. I heard the grade of mangrove snapper was really big too.
Yeah, it's just the right time for the mangroves right now. They're big out there. There's not much current. We went out deep. I scouted an area that was decent in the summer. The fish weren't there. We had to run away from that, but there's no current out there at all.
That's awesome, man. So nice, solid red snapper bite. What was the hot bait for the red snapper?
Well, we didn't have pinfish this trip. A few guys on the stern had pinfish, and the guys, we weren't able to get pinfish, but the guys that had pinfish caught big scamps.
Oh, nice. So the scamp grouper were liking the big pinfish. Dead bait working well for these yellowtails?
Yeah, dead bait, everything else. The thread fins we have right now are massive.
That's awesome.
They were working good for the red snapper.
Nice. So a solid red snapper bite on dead bait. The yellowtails were coming up. You guys get some triggerfish too?
Yeah, we got 40 triggerfish in there probably. It's just a really good variety out there right now.
That's
excellent
awesome.
Sundown bite. I got a little video of the boxes overflowing at the end of the trip where we had to leave at that time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And these blackfin tuna, how did these come up?
We caught all these on the same. No, we caught one earlier, I think. No, I think we caught all 3 of them on the same spot. One was on a flat line, then one was on a jig, I think.
Nice. And the other one was just dropping or reeling up?
Yeah, dropping or reeling up, and the kingfish was on a jig.
That's awesome. On a slow pitch jig?
No, on a giant vertical jig. I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy. That's awesome, man.
Yep, got him one.
So some big yellowtails too, man. Those yellowtails are solid.
They're solid. And the tunas were there. We could have caught a bunch of tunas. We lost a couple close to the boat. I missed one. And
I heard you got smoked a couple times on the first night.
There were spots where we broke off some giant fish this trip.
I heard another carbo, another true black grouper was caught too.
Yeah, we got another little black and just lost so many huge fish. And I'm not even mentioning the gags. We probably caught upwards of 100 gags again this trip.
That's crazy.
It's
so the
insane.
gag bite is just insane.
Yeah.
A lot of big porgies, some Almaco jacks in there too. So a huge variety. There's a big mutton on the side of the pile.
There he is.
We found him. Yeah, so 12 nice muttons, some big triggerfish. Killer trip. Thanks, Captain Will.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Nice pile for sure. And we're looking forward to it because we've got lots of options here coming up on a variety of trips. So red snapper season is open. Red snapper season is going to continue until the end of the year. We've got lots of added 39-hour adventures. So if you want a chance to get out here and catch some of these red snapper, we've got 39 hours. We've got 12-hour extreme trips. This week, Wednesday's 12-hour extreme trip looks solid. And also we've got some 44-hour trips as well. So some great opportunities to come out and capitalize on this red snapper season and catch you some of these great eating fish. The bite is solid. The loads are lighter. This trip only had about 35. Today's trip that's leaving only has 27. So lighter loads, tons of room, stellar fishing. And this week the weather is spectacular. It does not get any better. The weather is just flat calm today all the way through Friday midday-ish. Then it's going to pick up a little bit Friday. We've got a little cold front moving through. That wind's going to pick up Friday afternoon into Saturday. Then it's going to calm down for us a little bit Sunday. Then it's going to pick right back up with another cold front. So we're getting back-to-back cold fronts So you really want to try to capitalize on this great weather window here today, Sunday through Friday morning. And the best way to do that, jump on the added 10-hour all-day Wednesday. We just added a brand new 10-hour trip Wednesday, so tons of room on that. Also, we've got Wednesday's 12-hour extreme trip. We've got 39 hours all over December, every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. All 3 days a week, we're running those 39-hour trips all the way through December. We've got added 12-hour extreme trips. They're not just Wednesday and Sunday. We added a bunch more on Fridays, on Saturdays. So lots of opportunities there too. As far as the weather goes, like I mentioned, this week is going to be great. We've got a new moon coming up a week from today. So as we move through this work week, that water's going to be moving more, flushing more. We should see more actively feeding fish. Plus, right ahead of this cold front coming up, the bites should be insane. So Wednesday's 10-hour all day, probably the best fishing trip this week. 12-hour extreme Wednesday, another great option. Or the half-day trips. We've got a ton of half-day trips every day as well. So great weather, stellar fishing. Near shore, we're seeing those hogfish. We've got one, I think it's the 24th. So we got 2 more days to catch our lane snapper. They close on the 26th. Also, we've got great opportunities for plenty of other heads and tails near shore as well. Inshore fishing has been incredible. I was just talking to someone who's fishing right around here in Johns Pass, catching redfish, snook, trout, and flounder. He only fished for about 3 hours, caught an inshore grand slam with snook, trout, redfish, and flounder. So crazy inshore fishing too. Great opportunity to come out here and enjoy some fun in the sun inside Johns Pass. We've got dolphin tours, we've got island trips, we've got shelling, we've got sunset cruises. Our Shell Key Ferry resumed. Our Shell Key Ferry's back up and running. Plus, we've got that Don's Dock seafood market filled with fresh stone crabs, lobster, tuna, and tons of grouper, snapper, triggerfish, and more. So stop on by the seafood market if you want to buy some fish. If you're too busy to go fishing, you can always stop by and buy some, or you can come out and come fishing with us and catch your own. So come down to Johns Pass and see us inside Fish Famous Johns Pass at Hubbard's Marina. Hopefully we'll see you out here on the water, and we'll see you tonight for our live stream show. 7:30 p.m. We're going to be giving away $1,500 in free trips. So we hope to see you. Thanks for joining us. Have a great Sunday, guys.